everyone, Josh and Jay here with you. Another edition of the DEUCE Vodka pregame show. Back, second half of a little back-to-back series against the Ottawa Senators. History on the line tonight. I don't know if you would have seen it in the tweet I made like an hour ago talking about today's show. It's our opening headline, but it's kind of a weird sort of history tidbit, Jay, because it's something that it'll never be broken again if the Oilers do break it tonight.
Unless we have another pandemic.
Unless we have another pandemic season. But it's kind of crazy to think this was even an option in the 80s. I don't know what happened that season that allowed this to happen.
Well, there was only 21 teams then.
Yeah, I guess so. And then especially, well, I guess the Oilers aren't part of the original 6, but I know, way back in the day, teams would play each other 14 times in a season. But if you didn't know already, the Edmonton Oilers, an opportunity tonight to set a franchise record for most wins in a season against one single team, and that being the 2021 Ottawa Senators. Really a dynamic, strong team. The Ottawa Senators.
Well,
so well, I guess beating any team 9 times.
If it wasn't for the Oilers, their record wouldn't be as bad as it is. Like we've beaten them, we're 8-0. Like they could almost be as in the mix or past the Flames. So
yeah, they'd be better than the Flames.
They're a worthy adversary. It's just for some reason we just match up really well against them. Like they made a game of it last night.
Yeah, they did.
Like if it wasn't for Leon,
if it wasn't for that top line.
Talk about that goal. Like that thing had a 0% chance for error, right? Like a micro nanometer, whatever a really small unit of measurement is that off. Like either way, that doesn't go in, right? So there was a lot. Like it was amazing.
Hey, if you're a fan of Twitter and you follow Not Danny Heatley on Twitter, anytime something like that happens, he always tweets out Rockstar mode because he has an old screenshot of Danny Heatley winding up for a one-timer from the bottom of the circle in the corner, and Leon Draisaitl was literally below that, both feet below the goal line.
He was standing in the second row of the seats.
It was ridiculous, and that's going to lead us into one of our headlines in today's show. We're not going to touch on it quite yet, but it's time to start having the discussion, although, he's a 50-goal scorer, so is it necessarily that hot of a take? Probably not, but realistically, Leon Draisaitl very may well be the best shooter we've seen since Alexander
Sorry,
Ovechkin.
Leafs fans. Yeah,
sorry.
This is a trigger warning.
But we'll get to it. As I mentioned, opening headline, history on the line in tonight's game. Last night, the Oilers take care of business. They beat the Ottawa Senators 4-2. Oilers now 24-14-2, 50 points, 7 points behind the North Division leading Maple Leafs. The Senators, 13-23-4, 30 points. Senators are 4-3-3 in their last 10, where the Edmonton Oilers, remaining hot, Jay, 6-2-2 in their last 10, trending in, well, not trending because they've been heading in this direction for quite some time now, essentially since, like you like to say, beginning of February.
February 1st.
You got to be winning games like this, heading down the stretch.
We match up against Ottawa very well, and the fact that this record's on the line, the Oilers know it. They want it.
Yeah.
These guys like to get records. This is a big thing, and especially in the storied franchise that is the Edmonton Oilers that has some crazy records associated to it. So I think they're going to show up. It's, once again, still got to respect the opponent.
Yes, we're going to see pretty much the same lineup tonight.
What do you think?
We're thinking. Dave Tippett loves keeping his cards close.
He loves it. Drives us crazy because we come to you and say, here's the lineup, and then we'll get in our cars and drive home, and then find out an hour later there's a change or whatever. One
of my favorite things yesterday was during Dave Tippett's media availability prior to the game. In the morning, he was asked by one of the members of the media, Reed Wilkins, which goalies are going to be starting over the next 2 days. And Dave Tippett goes, well, we have 2 goalies and one of them is going to start each. And then Reed goes, who's starting tonight? And Tippett rolls his eyes and goes, Koskinen starts tonight. It was so funny because he did not want to say it. And then until he asked him the direct question, who is starting tonight? And he wouldn't tell him. It's just classic Dave Tippett. He's getting hard in his old age.
I know, whatever. We're winning, so I can't hate on him. But it just makes us tough because we want to give you guys accurate information. Yeah. But anyways, we're in this together.
One of the lineup changes we could see is potentially Gaetan Haas drawing back in. That's Jay's guy. We're getting some news.
My guy.
Well, you like Gaetan Haas.
Well, I love him, but we all love him.
We all love him, but you're president and leader and founder of the Gaetan Haas fan club.
I'll wear that.
Yeah. But he could be drawing back in the lineup tonight. We heard this morning from Dave Tippett that there's a couple lineup changes that could happen depending on a few bodies that are banged up, Gaetan Haas being one of them. So potentially he could draw back in on that third line. Did we necessarily see anything out of Kyle Turris yesterday that made us say he's got to stay in the lineup? I don't know, but Gaetan Haas could draw in probably in that third line center position because you don't really want to mess with that fourth line. Jujhar Khaira, all of a sudden Devon Shore is one of the best players in this bottom six.
Man, he's been looking good the last couple of games.
Great.
He can create some opportunities. That was good to see. How about that one penalty kill? It ended up leading us to score, like when we killed it. I bet you we were 90% of that PK in their zone. We just dominated. It was the strangest thing I've ever seen, but I loved it.
There's a couple bodies in that bottom six for the Oilers. I know we've heard a lot of conversation going on leading up to the trade deadline. That a third line right shot center could be a target for the Oilers coming up here on Monday, but other than kind of that void in the bottom six of that third line center, there's a couple bodies that have kind of cemented themselves in this lineup that it's kind of forcing Dave Tippett's hand. Like, he's not coming out. Devon Shore ain't coming out of the lineup anytime soon. Since Jujhar Khaira, Jay, we've talked about this.
Man, he almost scored. That was such a gorgeous shot. Jujhar was pulling for you.
But since he came off the taxi squad, he's been an every night guy on this team.
Yep. And I expect big things from him in the playoffs.
A couple secondary assists for my guy Tyson Barrie last night. He stays hot. He had us tough last week, Tyson Barrie.
He needs a rest, actually.
He almost needs a game,
He needs a game, and it's nothing against his play or anything, but that guy has been taking a beating in the last 10 days. And this is a great opportunity to have him come out and put Bouchard in.
You wonder why they wouldn't want to get Bouchard in tonight's game.
Yeah.
I just wonder why. I don't know.
It's a hot topic. I was listening to Gregor, and he's just like, I don't care. Like, there's no rush to put him in, and like he's got a good opinion there, and I respect it.
I heard the same thing.
But I also still kind of want to see him play, and like let's give Barrie a night off. Like, the guy is banged up.
And that's not saying that Barry's been playing terrible.
No, he's banged up.
He's
Load
banged
management.
Up,
But also, we can't do it. We have to jockey and try to cement the second place position in the division for home ice. So we don't want to jeopardize that. But at some point, we need to start thinking about giving the guys some rest.
Crispy Noss says, if we win tonight, it will surely help secure a top 3 spot in the North. # bring on the Jets. Christian says, claim Kajula. Did you see that Kajula was on waivers today out of Arizona?
Yeah, like part of my heart wants to, because I was just so upset with that trade. But I don't know. I don't think we need any more small players.
No,
he does play. He does have heart, though.
I do have a soft spot for Drake Kajula just because. I don't know. It's just Drake Kajula. He could tear up Edmonton DMs once again if he came back home. But it's just not a fit in this lineup right now. Rebecca Lewis, go Oilers, go. We got lots of stuff coming in about Kajula. Chris says, love Shore. He's great at stealing pucks and great at working along the boards. He's a workhorse. We've talked about this.
Shoresy.
There's a certain type of player that fits into the Dave Tippett mold, and Devon Shore is that.
Well, he doesn't give up, right? Like he's got some like Yamamoto, motor in him. So like that's effective, and especially come playoffs when it's about wearing other teams down. Like he does it, and he'll show some offensive upside. He'll make some plays, right?
He scored a couple of nice goals.
Yeah.
Tyler Cohen says play Bouchard. Chris says pool party is really using his body lately. Love the kid's physicality. Josh Peterson says, sell the farm to bring back Gagne.
I don't think you have to sell the farm.
Yeah, I think you could probably...
Maybe just a window in the farm.
Yeah, maybe future considerations for Sam Gagne.
Yeah.
One thing we got to talk about is that reverse hit by Kyler Yamamoto last night.
Well, so So a reverse hit to me is when a guy is coming and they like step and put their back.
Him,
that was all shoulder. That was a guy that was going to hit him, and then he went shoulder to shoulder and just... He must have like a strong core and lower body, our little Yam Fry, because he blew that was a bigger object coming at him.
It was Mike Riley. Yes.
Yeah, and he blew him up.
Loved it. It was kind of comical because like part of me wanted to say like, that was just pure strength by Yamamoto, but I really don't think Riley saw it coming. And
but he was going in for the hit. Like, of course, he's not expecting to blow it up, thinking he's gonna go hit Yamfry. But for Yamfry to stand in, like he's obviously got some explosion in him in his legs, because to be able to put that force to blow that guy up who's coming at it. Well, it was awesome.
Yep.
I love you, Yamo.
Nurse Berry, Russell Larson, Jones Bear. Those are the top 6 defensemen that we're anticipating are going to start in tonight's game. Mike Smith will be back between the pipes. Chris says, does Nurse or Cass fight Brady Tkachuk tonight? This is the last time these two teams are going to meet this season, Jay. We saw a little bit of bad blood boiling over, especially in the first period in last night's game. See, part of me says that I think Nurse would dummy Kachuk.
Well, that's like
But-
you got to give respect. I'm not saying like Nurse would beat Kachuk in a fight, but you got to give Kachuk respect. Like that kid's gonna be like a dominant power forward in the league for years to come.
Yeah.
A
lot better than
but
his
the
brother.
question is should Darnell Norris fight Kachuk? Like,
Is it a fair trade-off? Not
no,
really.
well, but just only do it think about like the rest of the season and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, just if you have to do if the situation calls for it, absolutely. But like,
Yeah.
just like last night, what happened when Leon took that swing and tagged Kachuk with a punch? Like, what do you expect? Of course, he's gonna go ham.
Yeah.
Nurse jumps in, pulls him off. Like, that could have turned into a fight, but it didn't. But like just come in and do that and just protect your teammates.
Yeah,
and just like you did there, and that's good. Now Cassian, on the other hand, like, man,
You'd
he's
rather
so
see-
hit and
you'd
miss.
rather
He's
see
so
Cassian.
hit. I know he's so hit and miss right now. Like he like there was points last night where it looks like he was just standing on the ice. Like, that's a guy who's got a motor and he's got tough elements to his game, but like, we just need to see more. Like, we just need to see that on a consistent night in, night out, shift by shift basis. It's driving me crazy. Like, sure, you broke her hand this year and you might not and you might want to you want to fight yet to give it a better chance to heal. Like, I'm fine with that, but like, start running around, pull guys off. You don't have to fight. Like, throw Brady Kachuk down to the ice. I don't give a shit, but like, just show some more emotion and set that tone, because you can't let Brady Kachuk and other people on that team think they can push us around, because that's how stars are going to get hurt.
Yes, I would agree.
End rant.
Yeah, good. That was good. I like that. Okay, we got to talk about Leon Draisaitl right now, because we've seen him I don't want to say that Leon Draisaitl's a streaky goal scorer, but when he gets hot, he gets hot. You know, we saw him go a stretch of 8 games this season without a goal, but then all of a sudden he'll have 5 goals in 3 games.
Yeah, I know.
And
Insane.
is that a credit to playing the Ottawa Senators? I don't care. It's hard to score goals in the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
And there's always been an ongoing conversation, you know, who's a better goal scorer, Austin Matthews or Leon Draisaitl. But last night, that goal, I seriously, Jay, I don't think there's another player in the National Hockey League that scores from that angle, let alone even thinks to shoot from that angle.
Well, and that's a goal score mentality to think to shoot there.
Yeah.
Like, and we know he likes to shoot down low there. He's done it before.
Yeah.
It's you got to give the guy some credit. He's an unreal trigger man. Like, he is so good on the 1T. It is Ovi-esque. You're right. Like, is he Ovi? No, because he's got a lot of work to do before we can kind of put him in the same conversation. But he's definitely hitting in the right pace, place to do it. But his ability to pull the trigger on the one-timers is impressive.
Yeah.
Impressive. Think how many goals he scored this year are one-timers on the
Yes.
rush, like coming in on the rush, standing still, whatever.
He has so many goals from that
With
right
that
circle.
stick. The
With that
blade's
paddle.
like this
It's a
long.
canoe
It's
paddle,
so.
man.
How can you look down at that? That in itself is a skill. To be able to look down at that stick and be like, yeah, I'm going to blast a puck accurately with this hilarious paddle of mine.
Since 2016-2017, Leon Draisaitl ranks 4th in the National Hockey League with 169 goals. That puts him 2 behind Pasternak, a couple more behind Matthews, and of course Ovechkin leading the pack with 200 goals.
And that's in the last how many seasons?
That's since 2016-2017.
Could you do it since 2018, 19 to now?
Since 18-19 to now, Leon Draisaitl would rank 2nd, only behind Alexander Ovechkin.
So it starts putting him in the conversation. He's OVS.
OVS.
Esque.
We've seen-
Big emphasis on the S.
But-
Don't say I'm saying he's better than Ovi, but we gotta respect it.
But 2 very different goal scorers in Ovechkin and Draisaitl, because you're not necessarily going to see. Yes, of course he has his times that he'll do it. We saw the one-timer goal on the power play yesterday out of Leon Draisaitl, but Draisaitl's not going to stand at the top of the circle on the power play with his paddle up in the air, just waiting for the pass.
Legitimately, just stand.
Just stand
It
there.
is so. But I think they do it to humor the other team. Like, Ovi just literally will stand there
Sometimes
and not move.
Well, they'll do the ISO cam on him sometimes, and he will legitimately go 20 to 25 seconds without moving an inch.
Yeah.
He will just stand there, and it's so funny. I love Alexander Ovechkin. He's my 2nd favorite player in the NHL, but like, it's just hilarious. But Leon Draisaitl just brings such another element to his game on top of that that he's going to be great for years to come. He's a Hart Trophy winner. Yeah, he's going to be great. That's a hot take, Josh.
Jeez, yeah.
Okay.
Really reached there.
Michael Parker says, "Can Devon Shore scrap?" I don't know if you want Devon Shore scrapping.
Well,
Check out hockeyfights.com.
I'm not opposed to him
See if
scrapping.
he's got any fights
hockeyfights.com. Bear with me as I stare at my computer.
Chris says, Cass seeing some tough stuff on Dry. He better get involved or lay someone out. That is our guy for that, excuse me. Douglas says, how is there not a new beer label on that table? Keep up the great work and beer. Yes, did we have a new beer drop today?
Well, so the reason why it's not sitting on the table yet is because they're not physically in Edmonton. Those are hot off the press at Dog Island Brewing in Slave Lake, Alberta. Yep. Our dear friends up in Slave Lake. So that stuff's got to get shipped to Edmonton. So it's on its way. It's going to go to Liquor Connect, which is that giant depot in St. Albert. My phone is ringing. I'm going to hit the button on that. It's actually our beer guy, so probably telling me where the beer is. I should answer it.
Yeah,
anyways,
that could be a lot. You should have answered it.
Goes to Liquor Depot or Liquor Connect in in St. Albert, and then from there it then gets shot out to the liquor stores, and that's when I can get my hands on it. We got to follow the AGLC system and respect the rules, but it's coming soon, probably next week. New labels.
We got to get
long answer short.
Some of the new beers, and we got to get some DEUCE vodka on this table.
Yeah, we got to get some DEUCE vodka. How about again our boy Spank Egg? I don't know if you're watching right now. He was at work during the game because it was a 3 p.m. game. Really, who wasn't at work during that game?
Yep.
And he came home and made up for the Leon hat trick. Posted a video. Our boss, Brett Kissel, then shares it again.
Oh, did he?
Brett Kissel loves the Neon Nation bomb and loves Spank Egg for that. So thank you for keep doing that. And I think he's building a little bit of a community around that. I saw some other videos of that. So get your DEUCE vodka, your Neon DEUCE vodka. Get your Dog Island Nation beer or Nation beer by Dog Island. Smash the two together and celebrate a Leon goal.
Jay, we just had a question come in specifically for you. That's coming from Sherry Hallworth. Jay, what's your take on maybe getting Nick Foligno? Because obviously Columbus has made it clear that they're in selling mode. David Savard not playing tonight, health bomb. He will be on the trade market.
I love that archetype of hockey player that Nick Foligno brings. He is a leader. He plays hard, and he can score. The only thing is he's getting a little bit older, but
33.
You know, if the cost isn't too bad, I think it's good. You need guys like that for playoff runs. Like that guy is a warrior. So if we can do it and it makes sense, I'm in.
He's a former 31 goal scorer. Obviously hasn't done that since 14-15, but he's a left shot, plays the left side. If he comes in
and he's got size.
Yeah, and he gets a little bit of chemistry, he could potentially fill that void on that second line on the left side without being that expensive necessarily. Because what would it take to get Nick Foligno? Maybe a second round pick, maybe. Not that we have long.
We'd have to figure that out. But yeah, I'd be like that. That's my type of guy. I would love to have him on the team, and he could be the top 6 guy that we need. But he definitely brings in leadership too, right?
Yes.
And he is tough AF.
Yes, he is. Hey, before we get to our DEUCE Vodka player modes, if you guys haven't noticed already, today Jay and I are sponsored athletes. So we should give a quick shout out to Twig and Berries. You can see we got our nice hats on. Mine says ODR. His says Nutsack. And he's got the nice hoodie on.
It's an awesome, comfortable line of underwear.
Yes.
Check out Twig and Berries. Check out their website. Nutsack underwear and a bunch of cool things. We're also ripping one of their hoodies.
Yeah. It's a good material. It's comfy. Well, I haven't worn it, but
yeah, you're not wearing mine. I'm just pulling up Devon Shore fights here.
Yeah, has he ever scrapped?
He's got a couple. He's fought in Darnell Nurse.
Get out. Are you serious?
He's fought in Darnell Nurse.
When? What year?
In 2018.
When he played on Dallas.
Yeah.
Who won? Check the voting.
Oh, the voting is probably all Nurse. 93% Nurse, but you know what? Sometimes you got to give a guy kudos for showing up.
We're gonna. I wish that we had a way that we could show people this as they're watching it. Go to hockeyfights.com right now.
Devon Shore is fought.
Oilers. Wow. Dallas was winning 3-0 in this game. Oh, Hintz. Going after Chase on.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Oh, look at that. Oh, Nurse is working.
Oh, yeah. But you know, yeah.
Oh!
Darnell Nurse is a tough guy, but Devon Shore showed up against Darnell Nurse. I respect that. He lost that fight at fair and square, so there you go.
Chris says Foligno, salary retained, and Merzlikis for Koski Jones and a 3rd-round pick in 2022.
I don't know if they do that. We might have to. Probably have to beef up the pick there, but that'd be unreal. You'd probably have to beef that up to a 2nd round and probably another prospect.
And Chris says that as well, out of prospect if needed. Douglas says, if there was a way to fit Hull into this team, would you put Dry and McDavid together and reunite Hull and Nuge together once again? Okay. We're going to talk about that after our Deuce Vodka player mode. So stay tuned because that's one of our next headlines here. I know
Okay.
Jay loves talking about Taylor
I
Hall.
caught myself on the Real Life podcast defending to trade
out.
for Hall. I gotta set the stage. I'll save it for later. But
Okay, let's do our Deuce Vodka player modes first. Do you want me to go first or do you want to go first?
go first.
I'll go first. All right. I'm going to go with my guy, Devon Shore. He was the kind of the conversation today. Lots of Devon Shore talk.
Lots. I love it.
I just want to go Jersey Shore mode. Just keep swagging it out there.
GTL.
He's
The shirt before the shirt.
Yes, sir. He's just trending right now, and we just need guys like that in our bottom six that are just going to say, hey, I'm here to stay, and I want to be a part of this team come playoff time.
It takes 4 lines to win hockey games, so you've got to throw appreciation out there. No,
Yes,
I support that, and he's been playing great of late, and a big reason why, big reason why the last couple of games we've had some kind of success. Mm-hmm. My Deuce Vodka, delicious Deuce Vodka. Try your Neon Nation Bomb. Why do I struggle with the Neon Nation Bomb? Anyways, try your Neon Nation Bomb. My Deuce Vodka player mode is our boy. It is almost comical that in the last 10 games or whatever it's been that we've had Draisaitl and McDavid together, that our boy Puljujärvi I think has maybe had 1 point.
Yeah.
It's almost comical that he's on that line. He's doing great things. My thing with Puljujärvi is he really brings a physicality to it. He throws his body around and does all that stuff. He still sometimes makes some poor puck decisions, but I think that'll just come with more comfort. Some weird dump-ins and weird forced plays, but that's okay. He's still young, but he does way more good than bad, and he definitely is worthy to be on that first line.
Oh yeah.
But I want for my Deuce Vodka player mode, I want Jesse Puljujärvi to just enter the party mode.
Yeah.
Join the party of David and Draisaitl. It's comical how these guys are just lighting it up and he's not getting points. So just join the party mode.
Join the party.
Join the party.
Get what you deserve.
Get what you deserve. You're a first line guy. You deserve to be there. You're doing a lot of the right things. You hit the post last night. He's been hitting lots of posts.
He can rip the pill.
God, he can rip the pill. Even with off balance and with little wind up or anything. It's amazing with the velocity he gets in the puck. You're due, my friend. So that's also going to tie into my betting because you're part of my betting for.
He's just got to fix the stick, man.
Shorten it up.
Yeah.
Join the party.
Yeah.
Let's get some points, man.
Next headline on our Deuce Vodka pregame show is RNH versus Taylor Hall. I don't know if you saw it, Jay. This morning I threw out a Twitter poll on my account that simply said this. Who would you rather sign? And please, we want you to be a part of this conversation. Comment below what you would pick. Who would you rather sign for $6 million a year for 6 years? 2 options, RNH and Taylor Hall. I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit surprised by how heavily it was favored in one direction.
Oh, I was nervous.
I thought it would be closer than this. A lot of people
people are smart. I love it.
A lot of people in my replies were not happy with me for even putting this poll out there. So 78% of people said Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Only 22% were in favor of Taylor Hall, and that's over 1,800 votes.
Whoa.
So that's a big sample size.
Big sample size.
1,800 votes. 22% would want Taylor Hall at 6x6 rather than Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Mm-hmm. Jay, what's your take? Do you agree with the people? Or are you kind of surprised by the results?
I'm with the people. I am so proud of you for going that way and voting that way. Of course, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, for a lot of reasons. Yeah, he's in a little bit of a slump as of late, and that's fine. But once again, let's go back to being a good teammate. Who was the one sticking up and jumping in to protect Puljujärvi there? Those two games when he was getting in trouble. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Would Taylor Hall do that? No. And that is just enough for me to just make that decision alone. Just that. Love you, Nuge.
I think if we can agree on one thing, Jay, is that both of these players are having down years. Both of these players are having off years.
Yeah, I would disagree.
Taylor Hall is having a terrible year.
Yeah, I was expecting Nuge to have more points than he does right now. Yeah.
Nuge is having probably career one of the worst years he's had in a while. And I'm an Oilers fan. I like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. He's having 5-on-5. He's having a terrible year, but that's okay because he's the type of player that if he gets hot, he could really pick it up.
But he's also on the other thing about Nuge is because He might not be a guy that can carry his own line, and that's obviously being proven right now.
Sorry, did you say can't carry his own line?
Can't carry, like, well, because he's got Cahoon and Yamamoto.
Yeah,
and that's not a slight against Yamamoto, but he needs help. He needs a little bit more firepower for him to be more effective. And us to extract the value of that. But like that second line, like that puts Nuge in a really tough spot.
Yeah, and I think
he's been like that for like the last 10 games, and look at his scoring in the last 10 games.
Well, I think this just goes to show, especially from the sample size that we've seen this year and parts of last year, is that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is better as a winger than he is as a center.
Yep.
He can't carry a line as a center unless he's playing.
Unless he's got an unreal winger.
Unless he's got two elite wingers, he can't carry a line as a center.
Well, and I would put Yamo is a worthy winger, but he needs more. He needs someone on the left side. We got to get Nuge some help, or break it up so Nuge is back with McDavid and that left side guy plays with Draisaitl, whatever. But get that in there so we can have two solid duos on the top two lines.
Well, I think that just goes to show why you need one more top six winger or top six forward in general.
It is glaring. It is glaring. We need to do that if we are to try to take a run.
Yeah.
And like, I guess we also have to ask, what do we consider a successful season? Obviously, winning the Stanley Cup, but what's the plan B? Like, what's the B version of what we think is a successful season? Is it winning the North? Like that would be huge. So like to do that, we do probably have to make a move. Like we could eke out the North with the current roster. We could. You can never rule out. Yeah. You can't rule out McDavid and Draisaitl. You never can, right?
Playoffs,
it's playoffs, and especially the D's taking and Mike Smith it can happen. But if we really want to try to take it one step further or cement that, we got to get some top six help.
Kyler Kotick says Nuge every day. Sherry, RNH, Chris, Nuggy, 100%. Robert, one or the other, Nuge hands down. Chris says, wow, 22% of people don't know hockey. LOL. Probably more so than a lot of Oilers fans. You could probably guess it. I would be more on the fence on this. 6x6 for one of those two players.
Well, you're taking Hall.
No, don't say that.
You're taking Hall.
No, I'm not.
You are.
No, I'm not. I'm taking.
And that's okay. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
I don't want to have recency bias because I'm sure that if we were in the Buffalo market, we would probably be taking Ryan Nugent-Hopkins absolutely hands down because they were around Taylor Hall and saw how crappy of a year he had. Mm-hmm. Whereas for me, I'm looking at it and I'm looking at his 5-on-5 points this year, and he's got one more 5-on-5 point than Jujhar Khaira, and he wants $7 million this offseason. You know what I mean? He's got two more 5-on-5 points than Tyler Ennis, who's played.
Well, he's not signing for $7 million.
11 less games.
Just take solace. He's not signing for $7 million.
True. But I also think that Taylor Hall, there's a lot of intangibles that would put him way lower than Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and some of the stuff that you say all the time. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins likes Edmonton, from what we know, and he does a lot of stuff outside of just putting up points. He kills penalties. He plays in every situation. He's probably a better defender than Taylor Hall, although I think it might be a little bit overblown in the Edmonton market saying that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is an elite two-way player. I don't know if he is. But he's definitely a better defender than Taylor Hall. But at the same time, I think that we've seen in the past is that one of those two players, if he's having up to his potential, like I'm talking like he is going to where his max is, and above that, one of these two players is a Hart Trophy player and one of them's not. But at the same time, for 6x6, and I'm talking having that player for the next 6 years, you could easily make an argument for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins just because of those things. You know what I mean? But if I could here's another one for you. If you could find a way, do you think it's possible that you could get both these guys signed on term for, let's say, less than $13 million combined? Do you think you could do it? If you could have $13 million between these two players, do you think it'd be possible to get it done?
So am I forced?
No, not forced. But
in the sense of because I don't want to do it.
But if you could, do you think you could do it? Like, do you think Ken Holland would be able to get both combined on term $13 million?
Well, Taylor Hall's the wild card, right?
Yeah.
He's the wild card. Does he actually want to go out and win? Because if he does, based on kind of his last, season and a half or 2 seasons, like he can't go chasing big dollars because the teams that can pay it aren't going to be ones that are in the mix. So if he's willing to take a haircut on that and willing to join a winning team, then yeah. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know enough. He went to Buffalo for a reason, for the money. He turned down being on the Colorado Avalanche and the Oilers. Yes, for way less money, but he would have been having way more fun this season. I can assure you that.
Taylor Hall in his Hart Trophy season, 76 games, 39 goals, 54 assists, 93 points.
That's not even a lot of points. That's just like the rest of the league just wasn't that good that year.
Yeah, that's true. But 39 goals in the National League, it's pretty good. In five playoff games, he had 6 points. That's not bad. But I can agree that Taylor Hall, it's risk. That's a risk. Taylor Hall, I feel like if you get Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, like it's way safer.
Well, you know what you're getting.
You know what you're getting. Taylor Hall is a risk, but I like risks.
I like risk too. I do. I just don't. I think there's other moves to make out there. But I caught myself on real life today because I was told that we couldn't make a Taylor Hall trade happen.
Who said that?
Your M-Chuck. That triggers me because I don't like being told that we can't do something. So then I was defending why we could trade for Taylor Hall.
Why did he say we couldn't?
Because he said we couldn't make the money work and this. And I'm like, of course we can. We've got some cap space. They will absorb some salary. We can make it work. He's like, unless Buffalo takes James Neal. I'm like,
Oh, trust me, if Ken Holland wants to get that deal done with Buffalo, it's going to take a steep price because there's a lot of money that has to be going in the other direction. But, well, I shouldn't say a lot.
Wherever he goes, they have to take on money.
Because accumulated salary, we talked about this the other day.
Yeah.
I don't know if we were 100% accurate with the way.
Yeah, there's some kind of.
I'm not an expert on
We should talk to our boy Hart at Puckpedia. He knows all.
He would know that. Okay, let's leave Hall for another day, maybe closer to the deadline. Because I guess with the way that the schedule got restructured for next week, I don't know if you guys have heard this, the NHL has pretty much informed the Edmonton Oilers that they're not going to be playing, obviously, next week, unless there's some sort of restructuring that they do where they take some of the games from the end of the season and put them next week. There's a good chance the Oilers are going to go 7 days without a game.
Which is actually great for us for the trade deadline because anyone who bring in from the States needs a 7-day quarantine, and we'll effectively not be playing during that week, so we won't be.
Yeah.
Well, right? So they won't be missing, if we need them in the lineup.
They won't be missing any games.
We won't be missing any games.
And off a point percentage, if you look at it from a point percentage wise, it's almost like we're winning because we have a pretty good point percentage right now. And we're gonna, well, I guess I was gonna say some of the teams that we play down the stretch aren't that strong. But we're also going to be done playing Ottawa, done playing Toronto, so we're going to be...
Montreal, we got to make up our...
Yeah.
We got to show Montreal that...
I hate Montreal, man. I don't understand why the Oilers can't beat Montreal.
I said at the beginning of the season
that
that we'd have a tough time against them, and I hate that I'm right on that one. I'm not always right, trust me.
You're right most of the time, though. You're pretty wise. I've learned a lot from you, Jay. I'm your young prodigy.
Oh, excellent.
I hope I'm making you proud. Other than the fact that I slander Ryan Nugent-Hopkins sometimes.
And you're a giant Fahrenheit fan. But anyways, we got to focus to the show.
Okay, next, we got some questions coming in. Send in some questions. Trade deadline related, J-Life related, Oilers related. Send them in, and we will talk about that a little bit before we get to talking about betting. Steve Simmons says, Steve Simmons, that kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah.
Not Steve Simmons from the Toronto Star.
The good one.
The good Steve Simmons. Y'all acting like they both won't be Oilers next year. You know they will. So Steve Simmons thinks that Taylor Hall and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins will be Oilers next year. Could you imagine? Or winning the Cup?
Yeah, sure. I like if Taylor Hall's on our team, I will live with it and be fine with it. Because he'll be insulated by a bunch of other leaders and warriors and all that stuff.
And we've talked about this. I've said this. Taylor Hall's on this team. He's not the king anymore.
As long as he's okay with that.
Well, I think that they'll make it clear to him, Taylor, if you want to play in Edmonton, we will trade for you, but you are not the king. You are like fourth, fifth fiddle on this team. But he's also pretty sick. So okay, Ben Osterveld says, what's your thoughts on Cassian, boys? I think he's a little invisible.
Yeah, he was invisible for most of last night. He had a couple glimpses there. I'm like, oh, there he is. But, like, we're just not getting the same guy. Yeah. We need pre-contract Cass back. And, yeah, we say he needs the fans. But he started playing. Once he signed the contract, he didn't show up in the play-in series. So, like, he's had a couple games where he's been, physical and running around. But, like, man. Dude, you owe us, man. We're paying you.
Yeah.
You worked hard to get that ticket, and you gotta now earn. You gotta earn it.
Who gave him that ticket? Was it
Holland?
Yeah. You think? Nah, never mind. I'm not gonna say that. Ryan Collins has Tip given Nuge, Draisaitl, and Yamamoto, so the dry line, DRY. Has he given it enough time together this year? I know it's hard to do that without leaving 97 out to dry. So that's obviously why, in addition to the top six, would be so important. Cheers, boys. Thanks for the comment, Ryan. Jay, has he given the dry line enough time?
No, he hasn't. There's only been a few glimpses of it, and that's, The only way it really makes sense to do that is to bring on a top 6 forward. It gives us that flexibility.
Yeah.
So you're right.
Yeah, we would agree, Ryan Collins. James Mitchell says, if Hall plays like he did with us before, we will be better off. Money has to be right. And we can speculate about Hall trades day in and day out, but the biggest thing is that if they can't make the money work, it'll never happen. Ben Osterveld, I think Hall will start chasing the cup. You realize he is chasing he will realize that chasing money has not worked out and sucked for him. Yeah, hey, if there's a big difference between players that want to win a cup and players that want to cash in. So, but.
Well, to be fair, he's only chased the money once.
Yeah, true.
Because that was his contract with us that just expired, and then he signed that 1-year deal.
He's a weird character, that Taylor Hall guy. Hey, you can't get a good read on him. I genuinely think that Taylor Hall's a good guy. I do. I genuinely think he's a good guy. I just think he just hasn't been. Yeah, I don't know.
Our dear friend Jason Strudwick praises Taylor Hall, and I take Struddy's opinion.
Does he actually?
Yes.
Really?
Really loves Taylor Hall. So I do respect Struddy's opinion because, man, I love Struddy. And as a hockey player.
Steve Simmons says, no risk, no reward, baby.
Yeah.
Chris says, Hall would have to put up 30 goals. If he just put up like 60 points, it's still 3 times better than what we have now.
That's fair.
Yeah. Scott Halderson says, Hall is a cancer to every lineup. Why are we talking about him coming here for 6 years? LMAO. Scott's having none of it. He still is caught up on the Hall is a cancer factor.
It's a factor, though. It's a factor.
Kyler Kotick says, if they would try to sign Hall, what length would you go? I wouldn't go more than 3 years. Well, I think if Hall was to come to the Oilers, there's going to be 1 of 2 deals. It's going to be 1 year, or it's going to be probably term, so 5 years or up. Mm-hmm. I think it would be one of the two. And if he were to come here, realistically, I think it would be term. I think it'd be 5 or up, probably. What do you think?
We've been talking about Taylor Hall for a long time.
I know. I'm sorry. That's what the comments are, Jay. I gotta go what people are asking about.
Yeah, no, hey, we do this
Give
for
the people what they want.
We do this for the people. Well, they also want me to act like a grump because we're talking about Taylor Hall. Like, this is on brand for me.
Can you guys comment some stuff that'll make Jay happy? It's just like,
well, the Foligno comment was great. That was a great question. I'm fully on board with it.
There we go. Okay. Skipping over, it's Taylor Hall. Skipping over, it's Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall. So please send in some other comments and questions that aren't Taylor Hall related. We got one more that's in here. Funny. Steve Simmons says, also the ranch is opening back up. Look it. So Taylor Hall's coming back. I think he's a family guy now, Taylor Hall. I don't know. He's not married. I think he's got a.
Well, that's the thing. Like, maybe he's matured. Yeah. But like,
I was watching the other day on YouTube the old oil change episode of when they did the tour around Jordan Eberle and Taylor Hall's little apartment that they had. It's so funny because they were both like 19, 18 years old. And it was hilarious because they said that they were getting chirped because a couple of the other guys came over to their house to look at it. And they both had in framed like shadow boxes their Oilers jerseys hanging on the wall. So apparently some of the veterans when they came over to their house were just giving it to them, because what NHL veteran would have a framed photo of their jersey hanging in their kitchen? And they both had Hall and Eberle jerseys like in their kitchen/living room. I was dying laughing.
Oh, they're 19. They didn't know any better. Funny. It's fine. That's cute.
Okay. Hall. Oh, here's one. Jonathan says, bring back Glenn Anderson. See people. Steve Simmons, Raquel or DeBrusque. Would you rather have one of those two?
Yes.
I'm a big Jake DeBrusque guy. I've said it, and we know you're a Raquel guy.
Yes, I would. I totally would. Just have to figure out how to do it. Anaheim's got a weird ask in terms of what they want in return.
Yeah.
Boston needs to figure out real quick if they are sellers, and if they are, DeBrusque is available.
I don't think they'll sell. Boston, man, they're stuck up, and they're just hate Boston. They're not going to.
They got to they got that core. They might want to try to give another shot to, but like they're not. I don't know.
Is Pasternak criminally underrated? Like, is he one of the most underrated players in the NHL?
No, he's not. He's properly rated. How is he underrated? So? I think everyone knows he's legit. It's just we're like Oilers fans have been stuck in the North for this division.
Yeah, I was going to say just in Canada, I just feel like we don't talk about
like
it very much.
You listen to national podcasts and network shows and all that stuff. Like, they praise Pasternak.
Well, this should be a good plug. David Pasternak appearing on
Dropping the Gloves.
Yep,
Dropping the Gloves real soon here. So check out hockeyfights.com Insta or Dropping the Gloves Twitter and Insta, and watch for that episode coming up. John Scott's going to be interviewing David Pasternak.
Couple more comments and then we'll talk about the money. Matthew Wozniak, may as well bring back Jordan Eberle while you're at it. Would you rather have Ebs?
Well, how about that guy? He's having a good second
having a good
act.
season.
Yeah, he's playing like. Isles are cup contenders,
Well, they
especially
just
after
made a
that
big
trade.
deal. I was someone that was advocating for the Oilers to trade for Kyle Palmieri.
Yeah,
And yeah.
we should have just never traded Jordan Eberle, or we should have never traded Ryan Strome. Anyways, that's
Or we should have never traded 16 overall and got Matt Barzal instead. Imagine Matt Barzal on McDavid's wing. Let's not talk about that. Aaron, what assets do we have to even offer in a trade other than picks? Aaron, it actually goes the other way. We don't really have many picks. If we were to make a big transaction, it would be a prospect. So
we got some blue chip prospects, but we got to make sure we are getting something that we can keep.
James Mitchell says, Hammer played well last night. Could use some puck luck. He's buzzing right now.
Oh, that was a great shot he had last night.
Sam says, Benson deserves a shot with Nuge and Yamo, and maybe Holloway. Holloway's got a broken thumb right now. Love that Benson passes like Draisaitl, and Holloway skates like McDavid.
Yeah, Holloway will be next season. I don't think we rush him, especially because he's healing. Benson, I'm open to. He's light up the AHL. The big thing with Benson is his foot speed. But his hockey IQ is through the roof, so I think that can that supersedes foot speed.
Yeah.
So sure, like he's lighting it up down there.
Yeah. Same with Cooper Marody. Like what?
Yeah.
Who did we get?
I think Benson has more upside than Marody.
Marody was in what trade? That wasn't the Hall trade, was it?
No,
Marody?
we got.
It was in the Patrick Maroon trade.
I think it's in the Maroon trade.
I think it was in the Patrick Maroon trade.
Yeah.
Cooper Marody. Okay, one last little comment here from Steve Simmons. We got a lot of comments coming in. We appreciate that as always, but I'm going to go to this one, and then we're going to talk about the betting. Steve Simmons says, what about Riley Sheahan? Why not reunite with him? Hey, that Buffalo Sabres team, they pretty much they're Oilers East right now. They got Sheahan, they got
Reeder,
they got Toby Reeder, they got Taylor Hall, they got, I don't know who else, just those three mostly, but.
That's a depth play, like sure. Like I like Sheehan on the PK was lethal. Him and Archibald as a duo on killing penalties was lethal last year. Like you know what you're gonna get. Yeah, like I'm not like
I think
like that's a depth move. Like we need to make a splash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm not. Yeah. Exactly.
Riley Sheahan's funny. I don't know why. Okay. Betting. Oilers minus 189 road favorite.
Road
hero tonight. Sens are going to be plus 160 on the money line. If you want to get the Oilers on the minus 1.5, then you're going to get them at 2.25.
What are they in regulation?
Oilers in regulation is going to be 1.85 or minus 118 in regulation. So you're not getting plus odds in reg.
Yeah, but at least that's better. That's better. It's the juice just isn't worth the squeeze on the money line, and the puck line still isn't. Because look at last night. I told everyone stay away from puck line because the juice isn't worth the squeeze, and that game it didn't hit. So
yeah, it did 4-2.
Oh fuck, it did. I forgot about the Leon goal. I even tweeted him saying puck line better. So going yes. Anyways, wow. Jeez, brain fart.
But
I'm embarrassed.
No. But like you mentioned, Jay,
did hit the puck line.
Oilers in reg.
Listen to me. I don't know anything.
Oilers in reg might be the play tonight. Minus 118. That's not bad. Or 1.85.
That's not bad. But honestly, I'm putting all my chips tonight on a pull every point. It's just at some point. It's literally, pardon the pun. He's got to get. He's playing with the two best guys in the NHL. Like something's got to. He's got to get like a weird breakout pass that turns into a 2-on-2 or 2-on-1 that those two go and do something magical, or something gets shot off his ass and goes in. Like the kids just do, or he'll just score. Like he's hitting posts like crazy. So Pooler every point is playing plus money.
108.
108.
Or if you want to get over 1.5, 450.
So I don't normally make big prop bets, but like this is like what I would normally probably wager on the game or on the money line. I am putting on a Pooler every point.
So I have never seen this on my book before. I feel like they might have just added this in for tonight. We actually have total over 3.5 points for McDavid and Draisaitl for tonight's game. Have you seen that before? I don't think I have.
No.
Yeah, so on the book I'm looking at right now, over 3.5 points, McDavid is plus 900. Imagine that being.
I'm putting $1 on each. Screw it. Why not?
Why
Just
not?
to say you did it, because it happened last night.
Because then if it hits, then it hits. I know our guy Connor Halley from 1260. He tweeted out a picture last night that he put $10 on McDavid and Draisaitl both to get over 2.5 points.
Yeah.
And I think it was like 10 turned into 48, and then 10 turned into 55 or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's a nice night.
That's a nice night for Hal. Maybe shots. I know McDavid had like 7 shots.
Yeah,
last night. Or he had 5, and then Draisaitl had 7 shots. Or
Yeah,
something.
he was shooting.
Anything else you want to look at? Maybe a little first period result. Hey, that's another one you can get plus money on, Jay. If you think the Oilers are going to win the first period, plus 130. That's not bad.
That's not bad. Yeah, I normally don't like, and that's to each their own. Like, I know people that live and die by first period stuff. I think that's a worthy bet.
Jonathan says, what's the line on Jesse Puljujarvi hitting the post 3 times? Minus 110.
Yeah, 100%.
Ben says, Cassian needs to play heavy tonight. On
Yes.
that note, Jay, let's wrap it up a little bit differently today. Instead of giving me a score prediction, just give me one player besides the obvious of the 2 dynamic duo, one player you think that needs to have an impact on tonight's game and will likely have that impact. Not necessarily your DEUCE Vodka player mode, different than that. Just one player that just needs to have an impact.
Well, and Cassian's what's is spawning this is, be a factor again, man. Like, that's, we like, as we're getting into playoffs, like, we need the Wolverine chops to come out and the actions that correspond to those chops to be displayed on the ice. Like, and we're not seeing it. Like, we have people like Devin Shore stepping up. You know, we got Jujar's playing solid. Archibald, you know, always being him. And our depth guys are doing good. But, like, Cassian, man, we need you. We need you. Be a factor. Factor mode. Let's go.
Couldn't agree more. Nils says, can't watch tonight. Just wanted to comment quick. Have fun, guys. We appreciate it, Nils. Jonathan says, Nurse. He wants him to step up. Dave says, Tyson Barrie, 5 goals, all assists to himself. And then Scott says Nuge. He wants Nuge to be that guy tonight. Step up. And
Yeah,
just
that's
have
fair.
an
That's a
impact.
good call. Yeah, Nuge has been kind of quiet on the score sheet, so it'd be good to see him have a big game tonight.
It was an absolute pleasure. As always, we appreciate you all being a part of the conversation. We're going to have a show on Saturday afternoon as the Oilers take on the Flames in the Battle of Alberta. And then that will be our last show until we potentially do our trade deadline show on Monday. So get ready. We're going to give you some updates coming up to that day about what it's going to look like, where we're going to do it, what time it's going to be at. But get ready. Monday, if you're free, we're going to have maybe a half-hour-ish trade deadline show.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
But until then, enjoy tonight's game. Bet responsibly. 5 o'clock puck drop. Oilers taking on the Ottawa Senators. Second half of a back-to-back. History on the line. The Edmonton Oilers. This could be the first time in franchise history they beat a single team 9 times in one season. Jay, it was a pleasure. Enjoy the game tonight, and we will see you once again on Saturday afternoon. Did you say Monday?
I said 9-0.